Hello, hello. This is Anna Imagination with a Healing Garden. I am talking today on the big picture. The big picture is a phenomenal way to really dive into this and explain what it is. In my last video, I provided a breakdown and explanation of fish in a tank all lined up. And you are in your own perspective. You can see the fish next door to you, one level down where you just came from. You can see the next one up, level 2, but you're not quite, usually when you're in that kind of a perspective, you forget that you ever were down there. You don't realize that that's where you're going to be going soon. And what we end up doing a lot is we see a person's physical body. Levels 1 through 5, stages 1 through 5, see physical body. They see age, they see credentials, they see job, how much money you have. They see what you own, what you possess, how many children you have, how pretty you are. This is all level 1 through 5 thinking. And it changes when you are in 5 and 6. Fives still very much see that. Yeah, I need to correct that. Fives can see it. Fives are solid there. It's at the end of 5 when you start to get into 6 that you stop seeing people like that. Sixes, you're this is where it opens up and you start to realize that there are different perspectives. That's what happens at 6. But at 7, that's really when you go, oh, I used to be. Actually, no, was that at 7 or 8? The concept of, oh, I used to be that way. That's 8. That's level 8 thinking. That was a concept I remember now. It was like on my second or third day here. It was like, oh, I used to be a second. I used to be a third. I used to be a fourth. Where was I when I was a 3? And I had to think back to my most violent time period. And then I hit level 5. All right. And I remember hitting level 4. And that is when I got a job and I was ready to conform and I was excited for a little while, and it did not last long. I think I was happy for 3 months when I said, yeah, I can't do the 9 to 5. This is gross. And this is a great showing you of the big picture. When I was a child, I remember I was fighting with my father so much. I could not get the 9 to 5. My father wanted me to have a job at 15 years old. And every 4 in the audience just went, yeah, that's right. Yep, that's right. So typical 4 thinking, my father said, and that is not something we should be saying, typical 4. No, we do not say that. That breeds contempt and that breeds condescension. We will not be saying that. Very much his forethinking was that I get a job, because that's how he viewed it in his perspective. And I was already a level 6. I was already thinking entrepreneur when I was 5. I was thinking freelancing and entrepreneur. And I've been that way my whole life. And yeah, the minute somebody said to me, what do you want to be when you grow up? Freelance, acting, but freelance. And I wanted to be a musician. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to write books. Freelance. Yeah, freelance and entrepreneurship. That's level 5 thinking. And my father wanted me to get a 9 to 5. So it's been a massive friction between my father and I, literally since I was 5 years old and I first announced that I want to be an actress when I grow up. Instant uproarious problems. And then when it got to when I was 15, 16, and he was like, get a job. And I'm like, no, I told you I'm going to be an actress. And then I got to level 20, 22, and we had a huge blowout fight that resulted in him kicking down my door. And then I moved in with my mother, and I didn't speak to my father for a year, and I was estranged because he was a level 4 trying to force me, a level 6, into his level 4. And finally, my subconscious mind, which was stuck at 4 from all the abuse, finally got me to obey for a brief period of time. And that lasted only for 3 months when I broke away, because that 6 in me was so powerful, saying, no, you have to go be a freelance. You have to go do your own thing and be a business owner. So what ended up happening was I received a lot of perspective abuse from my father about the job. Also about the vegetarianism, because my ethics were level 6 of you don't eat meat because I see interspecies. And Wow, it's so nice to finally have these words that I have never had before. I desired I valued interspecies. I could see the differences in the species because I was seeing 3 tanks down. But my father at level 4 perspective couldn't see all the tanks. He just saw level 4 perspective. So he's like, I don't understand it. Everyone's got to be in level 4. And this is where level 8 step in very gently and say, guys, we all have our own tank. We can't be in a system. We have to be in our individual tanks and be respected. There's no respect. There's none at all. So it's literally, and then the freedom to move about and shift among the boxes as you see fit, as you need. A person who hates labels doesn't hate labels. You hate perspective abuse. That's what you're actually protesting. But the words don't exist yet. Here they are. If you hate labels, if you hate being put into a box, you don't hate the box. You feel your perspective being abused, and you're trying to defend your perspective. Listen, but you can't defend anything without a communication system, which we have lacked this whole time until literally today when I decided to sit down and start defining these terms. Because in philosophy, I learned that if you're going to start discussing, you have to start with definition. So I started putting together a creed and a book of definitions, these videos, to teach you this language so you can start using your defense system properly, so you can start communicating and saying what you need to say to each other. It starts right here. Welcome to day one. So if you have a problem with labels and conformity, it's because you have been subjected to significant amounts of perspective abuse, to the point where you're shunning all other perspectives. I can't have any boundaries. I can't. Hi, you are a level 6 at least. You might be a level 8. You have to figure that out. That's why you hate labels so much, is you're a level 6, 7, or an 8, and you see all the perspectives, but you don't have the vocabulary yet to articulate what you need. So you're like a 2-year-old trying to say, can I please have a cookie? I really love chocolate. But you can't because you're 2. So you're screaming. Once the child learns to communicate, but we haven't learned how to communicate. We've been functioning in a system without the words to fit it. I'm going to tell you a story. I love language. The Old Norse. I love language. I have been obsessed with language all my life. It is one of my first passions. It is no wonder that I'm doing this work, being able to create this massive communication system. I studied PIE, Proto-Indo-European languages. The roots etymology was my favorite. I love studying how words evolve, how they come into existence, and how they shape a culture. I studied how words shape culture. Extraordinary. Words shape the culture, not the other way around. Not the other way around. The culture is chaos until the word brings order. The culture is chaos until the words bring order. You want order? Use words. You want to know what words are for in communication? To bring order. Because through naming, you have word, you have order. Not rules, you need words. Fours supplement rules for a lack of words. Level 8, you gain the words. That's why we talk so much. That's why we gossip so much. That's why we ruminate. We are looking for the words. If you're in shadow work and you're talking constantly, it's because you lack the words. What you are seeking is perspective abuse. Your perspective was abused, and some of you are highly sensitive to that energy. You feel it. That's because you're a 6, 7, or an 8. You feel it. You know that's where you belong, but you can't articulate it because until now, the words have not existed. So here are the words. Learn the language. What you are experiencing is perspective abuse. It is the type of abuse that takes a person and says, no, no tolerance for your difference. You have to be like me. And it's you being forced into something that isn't you at all. And every part of our body, all of our fibers, every molecule vibrates to a frequency designated to us at birth, at conception. Our energy are already preordained. Respect my energy. And my energy knows exactly where I need to be. And when I come into the world, I am exactly who I need to be. I just got to discover it now. But parents interfere. People interfere. Peers interfere. Everyone going, no, you're here, new here. You have to learn our perspective. No, the frequency is preordained. The frequency has already been chosen. So instead of us finding our identity and figuring out what our frequency is and learning our own song, I'm going to be saying that a lot. Instead of being free to learn our own song, we are being told instead what to sing. That is perspective abuse. So you're walking around singing someone else's song that isn't yours. It isn't even on the same mode. It isn't even on the same key. And you wonder why you're in so much pain. We're in so much pain because we're aligned to a frequency, singing, and we're supposed to be singing our song, but somebody else, a lot of everybody else, has come in and gone, you need our song, you need our song. No, this is the song you need. No, this is the song you sing. And they just cram all of their songs down your throat, and you're trying to appease all of them. People pleasing. So you sit there and you try and sing all of the songs, and the only one you should be singing is your own. But depending upon the severity of your abuse and when that entered your life, you didn't even get a chance. So healing is when you go, shut up, I'm going to sing my own song. What is it? I don't know. What's my song? And then people wander through therapy. What's my song? I don't know. Well, what do you want? I don't know. You don't know because you don't have the words. You don't have the words because the vocabulary has not existed until now. So here are the words. You say, hi, I was born into this world and I have my own song, and I didn't even get a chance before traditions and cultures and other perspectives came along and told me what I needed to sing and how I needed to be. So I've got all of these other songs inside of me, and I don't even know what mine is. I don't know how to shut up these other songs. I don't know how to tap into my own. I don't even know where I'm going. I just know I'm miserable. Can you help? And they pull out their level 4 material and go, did you follow the rules? So, triadic healing was designed by a level 8. I am going to be giving this perspective 8 thinking to everybody. Like, it's here. And we're going to start getting this turned around. And I have a plan on how to do it. The plan is referred to as Operation Imagination. So I'm going to have a meeting because I'm all over the place still, and I need to sharpen it just a little bit more. And I'm going to organize this. I think I'm done posting videos for today. And I need to sit down with pen and paper. Yes, I still use pen and paper, real pen and paper, like it's 1985. That's right. And this is the best part. So ready? Appointments. See this? This is how I do appointments. Yeah, which is a huge problem because people are like, "Oh, I'll book your call," and they're like, "Use this tech and software," and I'm like, "Oh, no, I'm going to just get my notebook out. So I'm still trying to figure this out, but I I'm doing a meeting. I'm going to be doing a meeting, and I will first spend some time with my schedule and my paper, get that sorted out. I will be then going through my website, and I will be getting rid of all of my perspectives 5, 6, and 7 thinking and replacing it with perspective 8 thinking. That is what I'm going to be doing on my website. And then I am going to be organizing my balls that I am juggling, and I'm going to go through and show you the different parts. I already have the treasure map started, so take a look at anashealinggarden.org at the treasure map, and you can see beautifully how that is all laid out for you. Once you have that all laid out and it's where it needs to be, then you're able to step in and see where you are in the process. And this is finding your coordinates. I will be teaching you how to do this on your own so that you know where you are with number 1. Now, opinion trumps all else. That's the rule here. Your opinion matters. There is no professional diagnosis that's... Just a minute. I need a minute. There is no such thing as diagnosis in psychology because it's an opinion. There is no metric. Ironically, in philosophy, we logically prove over and over again that everything is a matter of perspective and everything is an opinion. That being said, when you're standing over in the world of psychology, psychologists seem to have forgotten this. So I will be gently reminding them that psychology is an opinion. So how are you diagnosing anybody if it's all just an opinion? Which means if you think you have something, then you have it. Are you manifesting? Are you manifesting your own mental illness? Are you? You know, you can manifest your own cure. You know, you can manifest your own way out of it. Because when you understand how perspectives work, you can start manifesting whatever you want because you know how perspectives work. You can't manifest if you don't understand perspective. It's extraordinary. So when you have a level 4 who's trying to manifest, they can manifest all day long. They are not going to get this information and this skill set unless and until. Thank you. Thank you. More, please. Thank you. Thank you. Let's just say that the divines made sure that level 3s could not manifest. Guaranteed. They can't do it. So this is not power that's going to fall in the hands of Putin. But what we can do is manifest peace and world peace, because we're going to save Ukraine by ending the damn war. That is my plan. And I know how to get us there. So subscribe to my newsletter. If you're watching this and you're like all pumped up and you're like, where do I go? Where do I go from there? Go to my website and subscribe to my newsletter. That is anashealinggarden.org. That is the best place. I'm going to be composing a newsletter, probably one every day for the next week, pumping this stuff out, saying, okay, here's the plan. It's going. It's go time. Let's go. This is what I'm doing. This is what I've got. This is where I'm going. You are going to be required to watch podcast videos. If you want in, podcast videos are going to be your best friend, because this is my frequency. Sorry, this is my frequency. And if maybe I'll hire somebody and they can sit there and transcribe all this stuff, but this is my frequency now. And when I was at level 4 and 5, my frequency was writing. And when I was at frequency level 3, music composition was my medium. Now that I am at level 8, I have to do theater, I have to do stage, I have to do oral tradition. So sorry, if you're not that kind of a learner, caption it, we'll figure something out. But I can't. There'll probably be some tech guy who comes in and he could transfer all of my audio into a transcript, and there'll be a transcript available. And then some. Do you see how level 8s are inept with other stuff? This is why I need other perspectives, is because I don't know tech. That is level 5 and 4 and level 3. Level 3, 4, 5s, they've got tech down. They've got it mastered. You start to see level like you get to level 6, 7, and 8s, and that's something else. That's uh, innovation. That's innovative thinking. That's when you get into the thinking and the innovation, and we're thinking on the future and we're manifesting. The second group, that 3, 4, and 5, those are your tech people. Those are the people who get tech. Wait, no, that's not right. 4, 5, and 6. I'm sorry. 7, 8, 9. That's where it was wrong. It's in threes. So it's 7, 8, and 9. 7, 8, and 9 are absolutely tuned into understanding how the perspective psychology works. That's the world of perspective psychology. So they're the ones who can see, plan, move, shift. And then that second group is 5, 6, and 7. And yes, this ties into astrology. Oh, you wait, something's coming. I'm going to show you here later. But you have 5, 6, and I'm sorry, you have 4, 5, and 6. And 4, 5, and 6, those are your tech. Those are your tech people. These are people who get tech, who love tech, who thrive on tech. I've yet to meet a 4, 4 who gets tech. 4, 4s, like they're there kind of. So then you go over here to 3, 3s, 1, 2, 3s. You have 1, 2, 3, and those are all about foundation, nurture, and love. They are our future. They are our future. Now, have you ever seen a 2-year-old who's really good at tech? Guess what? That is either a 4, 5, or 6. That's a 4, 5, or 6. That's why you look at a 2-year-old and they're running all over. It's because their ethics is a 4, 5, or 6. But you're seeing it at 2. Now, if you come along and you start screaming at them about using that tech, now they're going to associate, oh, if I'm going to be at my own perspective, then I'm going to upset mommy and daddy, and that's not safe anymore. So the people who are really into tech really are that 4, 5, and 6. Now, you can line up, I'm going to say this again, you can line up 5, 5 and go, I value growth. Boom, you grow. But if you're a 5, 5 and you go, oh, I value the comfort zone, I'm good. All right, well, there you go. I'm glad you're happy. That is happiness. This is where happiness is. This is where it comes from. This is it. It's your alignment. Once you're aligned, oh yeah, you are happy. You are happy. And you can choose, do I want to grow or do I want to be in my comfort zone? Which one will give you happiness? Which one will give you happiness? Tack to your identity. Which one do you want? So where I am, setting an example, is in my home, I'm 888. So I'm doing the job I want because it aligns with my 8. I'm parenting the children the way I want because it aligns with 8. I have the relationship that I'm currently working on. I'm working on it. And it makes sense now because I'm an 8. And it just, everything clicked. Everything made massive amounts of sense. Everything now makes very significant sense. It's extraordinary. It's absolutely extraordinary. I'm seeing more of it. Like as I understand pieces of it and I get the words for it, the next perspective. There's like shifts that happen. So it's like a ripple effect. So when you first enter a perspective, you get boom. And you're right there in the middle and you have culture shock. And then these ripples start to happen. Now, as you develop, you can see the ripples, but you're only limited to this. So there's like mini perspectives inside of the bigger perspective. You follow me? Mini perspective inside of a bigger perspective. Once you hit all the perspectives within that grand perspective, then you're ready to advance. That's when you feel like you've outgrown. But I'm here right now where I can see the ripples and it's like coming out and it's like this and then it gets here and I'm going, whoa, I can start to see 2 levels ahead now. I can see 2 perspectives ahead, but I'm still in this space. So I would put me at an 8. Now I'm coming into 8-8. I am an 8-8. Before I was 8-7. That was the 4-day adjustment period. Now I'm in 8-8. Now, as I get closer to the next level, I'm going to hit 8-9. And when I hit 8-9, that's when I'm going to start to feel uncomfortable. That's when my mood is going to decline because I'm getting frustrated. That's when I'm going to have a shift in emotions that are going to communicate to me, hey, you're ready to level up. And that's when I'm going to get high and I'm going to sit back and philosophize and think about the world, the universe, and everything. And then I'm going to jump up to level 9 and I will be recording all of it as I go through the levels to show you what this looks like because I value growth over my comfort zone. Always. I'm going to do this for the rest of my life. I'm the grower. I'm just, let's go. I want to go. I want to see what's next. Socrates was one of these. He was one of these. He was a 7. He might have been an 8. He was a 7 or an 8. Christ was a 7. Let me think. I'm remembering the Bible. He may have been an 8. Christ may have been an 8. I'm not sure. He lived in a 2 society, though. That's a 2 society. So you saw what happens when a 7 lives in a 2. It doesn't go well. It does not go well at all. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. This is everything, and I'm finally, what it feels like is this freedom. Like I can finally communicate things that have been trapped in my head for 40 years. These are things that I've been trying to say my whole life, and it's the first time I'm finally able to articulate what it is I've been seeing, what it is I've been saying, what it is I've been feeling, and it's been absolute insanity for me because I have been stuck in all these different perspectives for so long. And I'm going, look, there's something out there. I can feel it, and it's calling me. That calling you is you hunting down your right perspective. Moana did it. Moana did it. In Disney's Moana, she was very much a perspective 5. She was a 5, and she was in a 2 society. And the whole story is her breaking out of her 2 society, going to pursue her 5th society, where her happiness was on the ocean, being a freelancer and doing her own thing. But she wasn't tuned in to the next level. She was definitely at a 5. And once she got to 5, she was very comfortable with just being her and not growing. She was fine with her comfort zone. But people who don't understand, and here's the thing, when you get into a comfort zone, what's been happening is people in perspective 4 and 3 call people lazy because they don't understand. They associate, oh, you're in your comfort growth. Oh, you're just lazy. No, they're not lazy. They're aligned. Alignment is when laziness kicks in. Now, the problem with this is if you accept your 2 perspective as your core perspective, and that's it. Where's your core perspective? So this is the first time I'm using the words core perspective. So don't go looking all over the place going, wait, did I miss something? No, this is the first time I'm dropping it. Core perspective. You have 3 perspectives in your combination. One of those is your core. This is the problem. Your core perspective is usually your ethics. That's your core perspective. That's the one that drives the others. It's the one saying this isn't good enough, keep going. That's where you get callings from. The other one could be your subconscious mind. That's when you are abused so much that you adopt your subconscious mind as a core perspective. That's not good. Those are the people I do not yet know how to help them. I do not yet know how to help them. That is, I'm working on it. The other ones is when their societal, their environment is the core. And honestly, fours are at a point where, and honestly, society is because 4s are so society driven. 4s are the only ones who are going to pursue and make that their core, which they've got because it's a 4 society. Now, what's going to happen? And here's the thing: is you can be a 2 living in a 4 society. You can be a 3 living in a 4 society. The 4s will then go, what are you doing? You're lazy. You're stupid. This is where labels come from. And then the 4s look at everyone over them going, you're crazy. You're weird. If you're a 2 and you're looking at somebody who's a 3 or a 4, they're crazy. They're psycho. They're weird. You look at everyone underneath you. You're stupid. You're lazy. Interesting, isn't it? That stops at level 7. If you are still calling people names, if you are still using the word stupid, if you are still labeling people, you are a level 6. Well, you're under a level 6. You're between 1 and 6. You are not a level 7 or an 8. You get to 7, and that's the first thing that goes is you go, oh, and you watched it. You watched it. If you go back to my videos, this is extraordinary because I video all this out. I had a playlist, and I didn't realize it was suiting for a different perspective. People were going, oh, well, you're switching personalities. No, I'm switching perspectives. And I was able to step into one of my perspectives. I was level 5. Like Anna Talks is 100% level 5. So go back to my playlist and you can watch it. It's good material, but it's now as a level 8, I'm going, oh, that's obsolete. That's funny. So now I get to go down and watch all of my videos from level 5, and I get to study level 5. And I recorded as I progressed and as I grew. Then I reached level 6, where the visions began and I started to see things. So I created the Witch's Corner. So the Witch's Corner shows you all of my growth from entering level 6, being in level 6, and then getting to the end of level 6. Level 7 is subconscious dialogues. Now, level 7, when I hit 6, 7, I was toggling between the 6th perspective and the 7th perspective. So I would toggle between subconscious dialogues and the Witch's Corner, because I was toggling between them. Now I'm solid into subconscious dialogues. I need another one. I'm actually using shifting perspectives. So it's suddenly this, oh, I'm recording. So you can actually go back. Anyone can go back now and study what each perspective looks like, how I'm talking from perspective 5, how I'm talking from perspective 6, how I'm talking from perspective 7. My priorities changed, my ethics changed, my viewpoints changed, my education changed, my terminology changed, so that when I enter into level 8, you can see this massive shift now, and it all completely changes the game. It's extraordinary. Now that I'm at 8-8, I'm aligned. And I'm dying to get into my relationship and like pull that apart, because I can see it now. My partner is an 8, trapped in a 4 system, which is why he has depression. That makes sense now. That makes a lot of sense now. A lot of sense. And people do that. People have that, where they get stuck. They're supposed to be at a higher level and they're stuck at a lower level and they can't function. That's where they run into problems. Yeah, it's all extraordinary to watch. Absolutely extraordinary. It's mind-blowing. Absolutely. I just can't. I'm still wrapping my head around it. And I'm just going, okay. And then that will settle down. I'm basically accepting the new data. I understand how the cognitive core is processing all of this. So I'm accepting the belief. The belief is going through the system. It's going through the checks and balances with my logic system. It's being processed now by my subconscious mind, and it's moving into all the emotional stages: shock, negotiation. Are you sure? Let me go through that. I'm weighing it all in. And then it's going to go through, okay, let's take an inventory. How much am I losing? How much am I gaining? There is no anger anymore. That's completely gone. Stage 3, the anger stage, the anger, the emotional up and down, completely gone, because I trust the universe. Because I fully trust the universe, I have completely omitted the anger stage of the stages of grief. When you get to level 5, when you get to level 7 and 8, you stop feeling certain emotions like fear, because you trust the universe that well. So there's just no fear, zero fear. You know it's going to be really amazing. It's going to be better than anything you could have imagined. Your powers of manifestation will exceed your imagination. Your powers of manifestation will exceed your imagination. That's right. The reality becomes so much better than anything you could imagine. That's what's waiting for you at level 8. You know, the food behind me, for example, I have an entire wall of this and a pantry. I was down to 1 day worth of food. I had a plan, but I had 1 day's worth of food. So what I do is I create a backup plan if the universe, this is back when I didn't trust the universe, I would create a backup plan in case the universe needed to take longer to get everything set up for me. So I would basically play chicken with the universe. I would manifest, and then I would wait, and I would wait. And you have to hold on to the trust. You have to hold on to the faith. You play chicken with the universe. Are they going to deliver? Are they going to deliver on time? Did you set up and make the manifestation in enough time? Did you allow enough time to pass through? Did you accommodate for the time the manifestation would be needed to set up? So at first, I wasn't sure. It wasn't trusting the universe. It wasn't a matter of when. I had the when down. It was as in I knew it would happen. I didn't know when. And I had deadlines and losses and things coming in. So it was like, all right, what's my backup plan? So every time I had a problem, I would manifest the solution, come up with a backup plan, and then I would just sit and I would play chicken with the universe. And it got down to the day of. I called my mom and said, okay, it's taking longer. Go ahead and I don't know, just take my son, and that's it. And I had manifested that I wanted all of my stuff. I ended up getting all of my stuff. And the food that I manifested, I said I wanted enough food for a week. I ended up getting enough food for 80. I bet it's 43 days. I bet you it's 43 days. I'm going to have to do the math, but I bet you it's 43 days because I manifested something earlier where I mentioned that I wanted abundance 43 times the amount of my suffering because I suffered for 43 years. I felt that was a good enough price to pay for everything I had to endure with my suffering. So I manifested that I will have 43 times the abundance that I manifest. So I got food, lots of food, and I'm thinking it's 43 days worth. So and that's some of the things you can actually go back in Witch's Corner. You see me on the day making that manifestation. And here I am on July 27th confirming, yes, that manifestation came through. I got 43 times the amount of food. So when you start watching it, you're going to see where I made manifestation A, and you get to see how much time it takes for it to actually happen. And then I get to sit down and teach you how I did it and what's doing it. So faith no longer exists because philosophically it can't exist anymore, because once you start proving that something exists, you no longer require the faith for it to exist. I really don't know how this is going to go. I'm very curious about this because the philosopher in me is going, if you prove that faith no longer exists, and if faith ceases to exist, then does that implode manifestation? But if you believe in the negative can come out despite whatever it is you see. So no, faith does not stop to exist. You can select another non-reality. Boy, I love these logic loops. Does faith exist? If you prove that faith exists. Okay, I'm going to abandon that because that seems like a rabbit hole that I can get lost in for hours. So thank you so much. Again, everything's at the website, anna's healinggarden.org. Thank you so much. And may the kindest of words always find you.